Welcome back to today's economic news. I'm your host, John, and today we are diving deep into a story that is sure to stir your emotions and, frankly, should have us all questioning what's being done in the highest places of power. This isn't just another headline. This is about the indictment of a notorious Venezuelan gang leader on federal terrorism, charges right here in New York. But before you switch over to the sports section, hear me out. This isn't just about one man or one gang. It's about a massive, insidious network that thrives right under our noses, fueled by the failings of policy and governance. It's about your money and your safety. We'll lay bare how the system's incompetencies and oversights have allowed the tentacles of crime to reach into our neighborhoods, exacerbating issues we thought we had a handle on. Let's take a step back for a moment. Before we delve into today's disaster, remember back in 2020 when they said they were going to put an end to these threats once and for all? The result? Well, here we are. The indictment of Hector Guerrero Flores, who also goes by Nino, Guerrero, El Sejan, and El Innombrable, is only the latest event in a long, sorry saga of failures. The Tren de Aragua, the gang he is associated with, is rooted in a country that's been spiraling into chaos for decades. Venezuela, a nation once burgeoning with promise, has unfortunately become a landmark case of political and economic collapse. It's a perfect storm: failed state policies, a lack of institutional control, and social desperation, all brewing a toxic elixir that gangs like Tren de Aragua drink deeply from. But how did this all come about, and what role does the U.S. play in this mess? Historically, American interventions, particularly under the banner of the war on drugs from the 1980s, laid the crude groundwork for the cartel, operations, and pervasive gang violence we currently witness. Fast forward to more recent times, the Trump administration unveiled Operation Take Back America, a move intended to aggressively tackle illegal immigration and gang activity. It promised strength and resolve, but where did that leave us? Well, staring down the barrel of a crisis that seemingly grows more complex with each passing year. These strategies, filled with extradition treaties and intelligence-sharing efforts, reflect a battle, the kind where Goliath sometimes gets the better of David. And yet, gangs like these continue to thrive, mocking our efforts with every ton of cocaine trafficked and every crime orchestrated. Now let's turn our attention to some hard data. Over a decade of crimes, U.S. authorities have charged 30 members or associates and deported 238 individuals to El Salvador. Guerrero Flores himself faces a potential life sentence. But here's where it gets chilling. These criminals wield weapons like AK-47s, MP5s, AR-15s, and traffic drugs by the ton. That's right, tons of cocaine flooding across our streets. Imagine if you ran your family budget like this. Would you ever expect a happy ending? The scale of this is daunting. Translating this into dollars essentially means our taxpayer money is funneling through law enforcement's Herculean efforts, while the problem chugs along unabated. And what do they think we're getting with every dollar spent? Apparently, just more of the same. Let's briefly quote the authorities to understand the farcical picture they attempt to paint. As alleged, Hector Guerrero Flores has been the mastermind. Does this inspire confidence? Hardly. Operating like a multinational crime syndicate, it's a neat soundbite, but when you consider that Guerrero Flores has been running his operations like clockwork, it's a stark reminder of our own ineptitudes in shutting these networks down. Critics of these supposed victories against crime suggest that targeting leaders or members does little to dismantle the technological and organizational infrastructure they've set up, while doing even less to address the socio-political quagmires these individuals rise from. Their ascent into power is often born out of systemic neglect, poverty, and the political corruption that their home countries face. And what do we do about it? Often not enough. Now, let's make a sharp turn into the libertarian viewpoint on this issue. The persistent journeys of drugs and violence linked with gangs like Tren de Aragua inevitably inflate law enforcement expenditures. This drains taxpayer money, swells the national debt, and cranks up inflationary pressures. The spending power you thought you had? Well, it isn't as powerful as it used to be. And what about the government's ability to maintain law and order? Their struggles are on full display here, with the gang crises underscoring the embarrassing gaps. You're asked to sacrifice your freedoms for safety, but at what cost? Liberties erode under the constant vigilance and heightened policing, leaving communities in a perpetual state of fear and distrust. To wrap this up in one powerful thought, this isn't just about a criminal behind bars, but a glaring indictment of failed policies past and present. If you are tired of paying for their mistakes, hit subscribe. Join us in demanding more accountability and less lip service. Until next time, stay informed and question everything.